I had another one of my dreams last night, one of my nightmares, and it's the same one that I had several months ago. I'll get into that. But I want to start this video off by telling you guys that I lied. I told you guys that nothing significant had happened on August 11th. I told you guys that no one had died to my knowledge. I lied. Starting after when I threw that camera out, one of the extras in Michael's video project went missing. Paige Zabanovsky. About a day or two after she disappeared, Antonius Cunningham disappeared. A day or two after that, Mark Jones disappeared. A day or two after that, Hannah Lankaitis disappeared. A day or two after her, Rena Jenkins disappeared. And then a day or two after her, Caitlin disappeared. Caitlin Dixon. All six of Michael's extras in the project just upped and disappeared. Caitlin disappeared about a day or two before August 11th, and this wasn't just like some big worldwide thing about people disappearing. They disappeared from their own homes. They disappeared from work. They disappeared while they're out with friends. Disappeared at parties. It was... A few of them were still in town. A few of them were moving away to a different college. A few of them... I think Rena disappeared visiting her folks in Pittsburgh. And so her disappearance initiated the FBI to start investigating. Actually, it was Caitlin's disappearance that initiated the FBI. So while all this was happening, I was scared shitless. And then I remember going to sleep before August 11th, and I remember having this very fucked up dream. In the dream, I was sitting here at the computer. Right? I was sitting here at the computer, just doing some homework, not homework, just typing some shit, just surfing the internet, right? Just surfing the internet, and then all of a sudden, Metallica's Enter Sandman comes booming out of the speakers. I didn't have music on at that point, and it wasn't like just randomly the song comes on. It was more like randomly the song comes on at a certain point in the song. Like, it wasn't like the beginning of the song just came on. It was like 30 seconds, 20 seconds into the song just starts booming. And I got really confused. And then I turn around, and standing right there in the doorway was Mitchell, wearing a mask, and he was holding my camera. And my first initial reaction was to take out my knife, which I had in my pocket. I got up, and I remember charging at him. Right? Charged at him, and then he spun me, pushed me up against a wall here. The only difference is a flash of light occurred, and then we were taken to the baseball field behind the high school where little kids would practice and shit. It was where Michael first met Damon. So we ended up there. Mitchell kicked the knife out of my hand. I tackled him on the ground and started pounding on him. I remember taking my belt off, wrapping it around his neck, and strangling him as hard as I could. After he had finally supposedly croaked, I then crawled back over when I saw the camera. I grabbed it, I got up, I turned around, and then he was gone. Picked up my knife, grabbed my belt, and all I could think about was just running back home. That's all I could think about. I didn't have a clock on me. I didn't have my phone on me. But I knew I had to get home because it was no longer the afternoon when I had started typing. It was now clear to me it was sundown. And then I just started running back home as fast as I could. As fast as I could. And it wasn't like a dream where, like, you start out at one place and all of a sudden you end up at another. If any of you know what I'm talking about. No, this was a dream where literally minutes counted. Like, I specifically remember how long it took me to run from school back to home. It was like, God, I want to say it was about a 40-minute run. Alright. For those of you who watch the channel, I'm sure you remember this thing. Right. So, after running for so goddamn long, I finally make it back. I realize that my mom's car is here, she's home, and this door is wide open. I pull out my knife again. I slowly make an approach into the house. I slowly crept in. This door was shut. I remember just seeing her, my mom, just sitting there, right in that chair. I slowly approached her, asking her if she's okay, and I am out of breath. I had just run, like, I want to say at least 5 fucking miles, but it took me 40 minutes because I'm a fat person. I'm trying to get her attention, she won't respond. I look down, and I notice that this was missing. And all of a sudden, I hear her turn around, and she's clenching it, and then, boom. I just remember getting struck, but I couldn't stop her. I tried to, but she just kept going. And all I remember was towards me, and one final blow. Now, at this point, in dreams where you get killed, you would think that you would wake up, right? This time, I didn't. I want you people to imagine this. After that happened, I just remember just lying here for about a good solid hour. During that hour, all I could hear was my dad walking through the door behind me. And then he stepped over me. He was very concerned. He's found my mom, supposedly, in the corner of the kitchen, clenching onto the knife and covered in my blood. Sorry. Police arrived. They started investigating. And after about an hour or so of investigation, I remember them lifting me up and putting me in a body bag. And sorry. At this point in the dream, I knew that I was dead. But this was different. I was still in my corpse. And I couldn't move. I couldn't speak. I couldn't move. I couldn't even blink. My dad shut my eyes when he found me. And after that, I tried to open my eyes again, but I couldn't. So all this I'm going via sound. I remember hearing the body bag unzip. I remember being placed on a cool, hard surface, which I think was supposed to be the embalming room, and I remember feeling my skull being cracked open. It was so painful, but I couldn't scream. I couldn't yell. I couldn't cry. All I remember was feeling my skull being cracked or sawed open, and my brain being taken out. And somehow I'm still conscious while this is happening. I remember my eyes being forced open, and the mortician took those too, because I was an organ donor, and I remember being injected with all this crap that they make bodies look good in the funeral home, and at this point, I couldn't see, I couldn't move. All I could do was just I remember being placed in a coffin. I remember hearing the cries and the voices of people who around me, people who I've graduated with, people I've become friends with, my family members who I haven't even seen in such a long time. My brother Andrew gave this great speech about me. He made me sound like a better person than I was. And I remember them eventually closing the casket. I remember them carrying me away. I remember being in a car, in a hearse with family in there. I remember when they finally laid me to the ground. I remember coffin as they put me in. I remember just sitting there, not being able to see. I remember not being able to fucking. I remember just laying there in that coffin for so goddamn long. I remember. I was in there for so goddamn long. Eventually, for days, for months, all I remember was we got at least to Christmas. I heard carolers walking from the fucking cemetery. I remember hearing the New Year's Eve fireworks go off. I remember so fucking much. But on New Year's Eve, I remember hearing the sound of someone digging into the dirt. For 4 whole goddamn months, I did not sleep. I was awake the entire fucking time. I did not dream. All I remember was just darkness. Just fucking black darkness. And then I remember hearing someone dig through the dirt, open up the coffin, pry it open, and it was him. It was Mitchell. And I remember him laying his hand on my face, and all I remember was waking up at, I want to say, 10:30 in the morning on August 11th. And all I remember was being so hungry. More hungry than you ever could have imagined. I remember cooking myself some pancakes. I remember, not pancakes, French toast, fried potatoes, scrambled eggs. I remember cooking myself a lot of food that day. I even burned the shit out of a few of them, but I didn't fucking care. I was hungry. I remember gorging on all this food. But the weird thing that I didn't notice occur until after all this was my hair had extended by a lot. I remember having a good clean haircut, but I just woke up with all this. And while I was gorging on food, there was a knock at the door. I opened it. No one was there, but a package was lying just right beneath the stoop. I opened it up, and it was my flip camera. Later that day, my dad came home first from work, and he just looked so goddamn tired. I asked him what was wrong, and he told me about this fucked up dream that he had. He told me about this dream in which he came home from work around 8 o'clock. He walked in through the back door and he found me laying on the floor in the kitchen, and my mom in the corner in a catatonic state, brandishing that fucking knife. My dad said he had never felt so... He was... He called the cops.
He remembers being in so many tears, he just couldn't fucking handle it. He remembers a lot past that point. He remembers my funeral. He said Andy gave me a good eulogy. And he told me that after I had passed, the FBI had started investigating me throughout the house. Started investigating my shit through the house, trying to connect it with the missing people. Right? And in the attic above my bedroom closet, they found a bunch of pictures of the 6 individuals. They found print out directions to their houses, and they found the mask that one of the parents had identified Mitchell wearing when he abducted them. And so Mitchell had set me up to be the guy who abducted those 6 people and set me up for murder. Not only that, tried to make it appear like I was trying to kill my own mother. And then she killed me in self-defense. My mom, she came home. She told me she had a similar nightmare in which she was locked up in a fucking psych ward, and then she tried to tell people that she wasn't her that made her kill me. It was fucking Mitch. It was calling him the Sandman. It fucking. It wasn't a dream, was it? It wasn't a fucking dream.